Okay, welcome. This your friend, your girl, Tahiri Divine. Welcome back to another witchy witch Wednesday. I don't know why Mercury retrograde got me, y'all. Got me. If you haven't done so, I want you to make sure that you hit the subscriber button, subscribe to the content so that you always know what's going on. Hit that notification bell. I love that we're growing our tribe here. You guys can follow me on all my social sites as Tahiri Divine. Few housekeeping. I have a new class that's coming up. The description or registration link will be in the bio for you. It's called The Craft, Mapping Out Your Magic. So if you're interested or you are feeling witchy or tapping into your magical side, you don't even have to be witchy or a witch for this class. It's really about learning to use alchemy and your own personal magnetism. So if you are interested in that, we'll be going into a lot of history or her story in alignment to that. And I thought I grabbed that book. Child. Let me make sure I got this thing over here. Okay, here it is. Because today we're talking about dark feminine mindset today. So, hey, love. Hey, welcome, Raven. I sees you. Okay, so today on Witchy Wednesday, I'm talking about mindset and the importance of understanding your mental space, right? If you're about alchemy or learning to map your magic, you understand that the element of air, which we are on a Wednesday, Mercury is an air sign, or not air sign, but it deals with the air, the mental capacity. So that's what we're doing. We're giving a lot of energy to Mercury right now on this beautiful mercurial day. And so I'm going to be sharing with you all, because since Wednesday is a good day to study, it's a good day to read, it's a good day to communicate ideas, even in a retrograde. Give me a second one time, guy. Okay, y'all had to take out my braces because I feel like it's like inhibiting me from speaking. And I want to get all my words out so that you guys can hear me effectively and clearly. Because I feel like I can't talk with my braces in my mouth. But today, so I'm going to be sharing some books with you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a male or male identified, female identified, woman identified, however you identify, if you're in the realm of adapting and integrating your divine feminine capabilities, whether you are born male or assigned female or whatever, I want to give you guys some tools that you can use that has helped me in my journey, okay? Which is going to be part of the class that we'll be going through for the Mapping Your Magic class, is this book here. I talk about this book nonstop all the time. This is The Sibyls, the first prophetesses of Mami Wata by Mama Zogbe, rest in heaven her. And so this is actually a very, very important book that I say that you should add to your reservoir. This right here, Mama Zogbe, or Dr. Vivian Hunter was her name, did an extensive amount of research, archaeological research, the historical facts and figurines and all of that. She has put that together in these books, in this book here, outlining the history of how the Catholic Church actually stole the prophecies and how they actually were to overtake the Black African oracles, right? The seers and the healers and the oracles, the obeas, the medicine women. So she does a really good job outlining how the Catholic Church came into power and stole these relics and artifacts and all those things. So she has an immense amount of information in here that would really help you unlock that story. So if you're interested in more of the ancient matriarchal history or her story, this is a really good book and resource to have in your arsenal. This is important as a dark feminine person, right? Or tapping into your dark feminine. This book will be what's going to be so important to really help you deconstruct a lot of things. One of the beauties that I love about this book, for me, what it did was able to piece the missing information that I did not get in school, and then just in general too, because we're not taught this history this far back. I could remember even when I was taking my women and gender studies class as an undergrad, a certain time period it would always be kind of brushed off like, oh, that was so long ago. They didn't have sense. They didn't know what they were doing. They used art. I had one professor, she really did go deeper into it. But again, it was still focused on the Eurocentric side of the matriarchal lineages. But if you're looking for more bringing it back home to African Black centered, then this is a really great resource to have in your arsenal, unlocking your mind and really putting things in perspective of what's taking place today. So great, great book. My next recommendation for dark feminine mindsets in the book to add to your arsenal is Pussy Powers, the Black Girl Bliss of Pussy Powers, Sacred and Central Rights for Wild Women of Color. Highly, highly recommend this book. This is really about if you are a woman who struggles with tapping with her divine sensual nature, particularly as a woman of color. I love how she wrote this book, that it resonates and speaks to us. It gives you these wonderful embodiment exercises. She shares her story on what led her through certain principles, what she calls pleasure principles, because tapping into your pleasure, tapping into your pussy, knowing that part of yourself, your sacral chakra, owning that, owning your sexuality, not just limiting to your chakras, which is all part of your life force, but owning that is going to be so important for you ladies to really, really hone in into your dark feminine wisdom. You got to be in tune with it. If your spiritual practice does not include your everyday living life, I'm telling you, you're doing it wrong. So that's one thing about here. We talk about practical spirituality. I love practical spirituality. Make my spirituality practical, make it livable, and make it attain to my day-to-day life. That's what we do here. And that's what we'll be doing in mapping your magic. Okay. So sign up for the class. The early registration where I will send you the books ends the 1st of February. So that portion will end and you'll just have the registration information and you have to get your own books. But there are 2 books, one being the Sibyl's book, is you're definitely going to want this book if you don't order the full subscription with the class, okay? Next book is what another highly important book that I think I'm going to add this one to, not think, I'm adding this one to the class. Since I didn't make it required reading, I'm not going to like say you have to get this book, but I will say you need to have this book in your life as a dark feminine woman, okay? This one here is by Demetra George, The Mysteries of the Moon, the Dark Moon, excuse me. As you guys see, this book has been through it. I have had this book for some time. I love this book. I have so much writing and highlighting in this book. This book right here is so imperative as a dark feminine wisdom person. If you are integrating your dark feminine, your dark masculine, you need this book. You need to understand the mysteries of your dark moon. Demetra George is a wonderful, phenomenal astrologer, but she's also a historian as well. So she does really well at, you guys see like all these notes here, just notes upon notes in this book. But this is a really great book to have and keep and to always refer back to, especially if you are living to be in a more cyclic lifestyle. And I talk about this syncing your menstrual cycle. Understanding your menstrual cycle is more than just the 3 to 5, however many days when you're actually on your blood. Your menstrual cycle is the whole entire process that leads up from blood moon to blood moon, and understanding not just nature cycles, but also getting back in tune with your own personal cycle and having stories or archetypical stories that relate to that. So at this end, I'll have all these books in the description for you guys to buy them with the links to take you straight to it. But I definitely recommend this one as well. Next book is more of a reference book. Well, before I go to my reference books, let me go to another book, because then the last 2 books are going to be more reference books. This book here is called The Heart of the Great Mother. This is Spiritual Initiation, Creativity, and Birth by medical doctor Christine Page. I love that she's a medical doctor, and there's another medical doctor I have on here, because I love when we have Western science or science merge with spirituality. What happens too much that I have seen in spiritual communities is that there's this separation of the physical from your spiritual self, when all of it's together. Like, you are physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. Okay, we're all of that together. So to compartmentalize our experience, you miss on the totality of your experience, the totality of yourself. So you are fully divine and human, because human is divine. So to even say I'm human doesn't negate your divinity, and to say I'm divine doesn't negate your humanity. It's interlinked. It's like oxygen and trees, right? The trees exhale oxygen, we breathe it in. We exhale, was it carbon dioxide, I think it is. Trees inhale carbon dioxide. So it's a symbiotic relationship that we experience. And I love how she is able to bring that into like spiritual initiations and tapping into creative ways. So again, if you're into alchemy and astrology and the medical, because actually astrology was used originally, right, or by the ancients as a way to, it was medical astrology. That was the way astrology was used, to not just tell us the times, but also give us the archetypical stories of how the body is functioning. So as above, so below. So I love how she was able to do that. A great, more notes, highlights. I always like to make notes in my books, but this is another good book to have in your arsenal as well. Okay, next two are my reference books. This one I highly recommend. I love this author. I love her. I have a lot of her other books, but I'm just going to recommend this one first. This is by Dr. Barbara G. Walker. Actually, I don't think she's a doctor, or maybe she is a PhD, but Barbara G. Walker. This is the Woman's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects. Ladies and gentlemen, but it's so important that you have this book. It's a reference book again because she breaks it up in different chapters, and it's like a dictionary or like a reference book. So symbols and signs and sacred objects and where it came from, the earliest place it came from, where it was used, how it was interpreted. This is going to be so important. If you are a spiritualist, you need to have this book, particularly as a feminine person, feminine identifying person. This is a very important book to have because understanding symbols and understanding the sacred objects helps you magnetize your personal magic. Okay, so this is a really good book. If you have dreams and a certain object comes in your dreams, you can go to your reference book. Or, well, what is that? Let's say you had a dream of a sphinx, right? And then you can go to the book and let's go to Sphinx. And she has the history of the Sphinx and then other things going on. Making me spend money. Oh no. Well, ease yourself into this, ladies and gentlemen. Ease yourself, ease yourselves, ease yourself. Don't rush it, don't rush it. But I definitely say this is an important book to have in your arsenal as it pertains to signs and symbols. It doesn't have, I like Barbara G. Walker's books. It doesn't have to be hers, but I like hers because she actually links it back to, if you guys remember this book I talked about, there's correlation in the things that brought up in this book. If you look into this book, you will find some correlation of the symbology. And when it comes to history, particularly with the Symbols book, this is not a book that you can sit down and read through. Let me warn you guys, it's not a book you sit down and read like an actual book. You're going to have to do some work and maybe even some of your own tallying. I feel like this book is notes from her studies and notes from all the different sources that she's put together. So it doesn't read like a consistent story through. It reads as if it's a textbook of lots of notes and lots of historical notes and facts and stuff like that. So that's why it's always good to use other sources and I always like to look in the bibliography. Every book I get, I go straight to the bibliography to see like, well, who was the people that Mama Wata studied? So her bibliography is pages upon pages upon pages, like the last 12 pages of the book is nothing but bibliographies. So that helps you to go even deeper with your own studies to look at other sources that she used to reference her work. Same thing with Barbara G. Walker. You can actually, this one won't have the bibliography as much, but I do like how she has like the words. You can find them in the back to know what pages that they associate on and where they're talked about. But yeah, so those are great books to have, resource books. My last resource book is from medical doctor Christine Northrup, and this one's called Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom. Ladies, female-bodied people, you need to understand your body. And I love that she is she's retired now, but she was a gynecologist for 30 years, I believe it was. And she actually she merges the spirituality with the physicality, and I love that because that's right up my alley. That's right up my alley. Actually, I think I shared this with you guys. My north node is in Pisces, so my south node's in Virgo. So going from the practicality of everyday life to seeing how that correlates to your spiritual practice, that's my whole entire life right there, ladies and gentlemen. So I love that she does that. My Virgo South Node is so excited, and my North Node Pisces is pleased as well. So we're putting it together. Right now, what I am doing, I am actually working on preparing myself for menopause. Like I still got years, like a decade and some change before I actually end the age of menopause, but I feel like it's important to have the information on how to prepare for it versus you just getting there and being hit with it. So she actually has other books too that is like very specific to those who are menopausal women. She has one for premenstrual women. She has one for women who want to have children. But this is like her overall general book that she started with. And this is so important because our body holds so much wisdom. I mean, she breaks down to the breast, to different treatments, to her vulva, the vagina, the lower urinary tract, the cervix. Like there's chapters upon chapters. I've used this page as a reference before that shows us the clitoris, the anatomy of the clitoris, right? Oh no, don't lose that page, whatever that notebook is. I have notebooks coming out, notebooks. But these are just important understandings of the physicality of her body. But then she also goes into the chapters of the spiritual components of that physical part of the body. So the clitoris is a very interesting and beautiful, beautiful organ that we need to, as female bodied people or clitoral owners, need to understand and how to work not just your physicalness, but your magic within it too. So these are just a few books that I have that I think are important to add to your reservoir if you are on a dark feminine path, if you are looking to be more encapsulated with your wisdom. These are some great resources to start with. I will make sure to link all these books down below for you ladies, and as well as the registration link for the craft, Mapping Your Magic. So we'll be starting class the 14th of February until about the 15th of March, from full moon to full moon. I'm excited about working with you ladies and the group that's coming together, and just the expansion that's going to take place. So yay. But that is all for today on this Witchy Wednesday today. You guys can connect with me through all my social sites as Tahiri Divine. If you haven't done so, I would love to invite you to join my newsletter. You can go to tahiridivine.com. A little drop box will fall down, ask you to join our Divine Tribe mailing list. You can join there and get more exclusive behind the scene information from me. It's a great way of where I love to build my community and share more in depthly. INDEPTH. Am I? Is there an LY at that? But more in depth with you all about things that are coming to me as I'm in my own studies, I'm working on, or any insights and questions I can go deeper into on private sectors than I can on the public sector. Because one thing I want you all to understand, that no matter how much you may look up this type of information, whether it's dark feminine, whether it's tapping into your true magic, your potential, a lot of it is still very occult, which just means hidden. And as I'm getting more mature in goddess, I understand the purpose, and there's a reason for things to be hidden. There's a time for things to be revealed, but there's also a time for things to be hidden. And some things just need to stay hidden too. It doesn't need to be out, but you learn that as you gain more understanding. But until next time, I am not sure if I'll be going live anytime the rest of this week. I think, I'm not going to be going live the rest of this week, y'all. But I will drop a pre-recorded video that I had years ago. That I think is very relevant for today, or at least the topic that we're discussing for the next few weeks. So that'll be dropped, if not by tomorrow, definitely by Friday for you all. And then I will see you all next week. The plan is to be live Tuesday, but you guys know I'm going to drop in the community tab, and I'll make sure it's already scheduled so you guys can have an idea when I'll be going live again. I look forward to it. And if you all have any specific topics that you love me to discuss that pertains about dark feminine, about magic, practical spirituality, definitely you guys can drop those questions in the comment section. You can email me. I would love to know from you all, what are some other topics you'll love to go more deeper into. There is a process to my madness. This is the year of the dark masculine, dark feminine. So all year I'm going to be going into dark masculine, dark feminine. But before we even go into dark masculine, you got to understand the dark feminine. So I know I was like, when we're going to get to that dark masculine. Well, you can't do nothing if you don't know who the feminine is. You got to go to the original. How you going to go to the copy if you don't go to the original? Okay. But yes, I look forward to that coming really soon for you all. But all right, my friends, I love you all. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed week. Stay safe out there. Stay dangerous as well. Until next time, this is your friend, your girl, Tahiri Divine. Peace.